I feel like the guys in my life are always able to make me laugh.
I like that he cooks, sometimes cleans. My man is very kind and protective.
He's also my biggest supporter.
I think men are like emotional beings.
Men are amazing. We can't do without men.
Basically, I am wondering what nice things women have to say about men. So what's something you appreciate or admire about men? So I don't know how you guys feel, but I personally have gotten a little sick and tired of seeing almost nothing but negativity online between men and women. Men blaming women for their dating issues, women blaming men for their dating issues. And I felt like we should have more to appreciate about one another than we have to complain about each other. So I figured, why not hit the streets and see what people have to say positively about the other sex. I will do these in 2 separate videos, and ladies first. So we're going to start out with the ladies to see what they have to say about us men. And if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and do so now so that you can be notified when the next video comes out with the men saying what they appreciate about women. So without further ado, let's see what the women had to say about us men.
Okay, I'm going to tell you what I appreciate about my husband. I appreciate his heart. He has a really big heart and a heart to encourage and a heart to help other people. I really appreciate his strength under control, how he can I feel safe with him. I feel protected with him. I know I'm in good hands.
Men, we have this level of strength, which is far too often used for negative things. Yeah. But to your point, it's great when we use it as a positive and to protect those around us and uplift those around us.
Yeah, and he's also my biggest supporter, like encouraging me to do things that make me uncomfortable. And he's very logical, where I feel like as a woman, I might operate more out of my emotions, but he keeps me kind of level-headed and grounded in that.
Yeah, and that's not the first time I've heard that either, which I think it's good to have both, right? It's a symbiotic relationship. You need the emotions to make certain decisions, and sometimes you need the opposite, where it's a more like level-headed response. You need both, so I think that's great.
Well, I think with a lot of men, but especially my husband, faithfulness and being a supporter, a very good supporting father and husband, and my main thing is just feeling safe with the marriage and knowing that you feel like that you're the one and you're the only one, and a lot of people probably don't do that, but I think everybody should when you're in a marriage, that's for sure, and he's one of the best.
Well, apparently you guys are doing something right, because you told me you've been together, 51 years or something like that, since grade school.
Grade school.
So you guys are certainly doing something right. Well, I'm running out of time to be with someone for 50 years, but sooner or later.
Doesn't matter how many years, just so you're happy.
That's right. That's absolutely right. Good point. Yeah.
I've been married 3 times. The first 2 times I didn't get it right, but the third one I kind of prayed over it. And when I tell you, he was everything that I didn't know a man could be, like my dad. Such a provider. He came into my life with 2 children that wasn't his. He took care of them like they were his. I mean, you work hard, it makes me want to do more for my guy. You know what I mean? Just come home, and whatever you need, whatever you want, come home, be a man. You've taken care of us. Men are amazing. The end of the day, we can't do without men. They are part of our lives. They're part of who we are. They're here for us. They want us to want them. My husband died in 2019. I have been single since 2019. I feel like I'm a great person. I feel like I'm a great woman, one who loves God and love people. I feel like I'm that girl. But men don't ask me. They don't ask me out. They don't say hi. You were kind enough to stop me today.
You had a big smile on your face the second I said hi to you.
You know, men don't say hi, and maybe for the same reasons we don't. They're trying to protect themselves like we're trying to protect ourselves. So come on, let's be better about our men. Let's be their cheerleaders so that they can continue to be ours. I love men.
I love your energy. No, but seriously, there's a lot to unpack there. But first of all, sorry for your loss. But third time's the charm, right? I'm glad you got it right, and the right man came into your life. And I think you have a good point there, though. when men are strong and, you know, they're providers, like you say, then I think it brings out a certain energy in their woman, you know, where you said, like, come home, I want to take care of you. And I think it's kind of a symbiotic relationship, right? Like it's supposed to be. Yes. So when men show up in the way they're supposed to, I think women respond to that. I know you guys both said you're engaged. You can speak on...
Married.
Oh, you're married, and you're
I
engaged.
Just got engaged.
Okay, congratulations. So you can speak about your fiance and husband specifically, however you want to take it. So
I am 4 months pregnant or 5 months pregnant right now.
congratulations.
Thank you. My husband has always been protecting over me, my household, everything, and I know he's going to be very protecting over our baby. So anytime that we're out anywhere or just in home in general, I know he's always going to protect us, no matter what happens. So I feel like that's the best thing about him.
And when she's working late, her man will do the cooking, do the cleaning, and everything like that. So same with my man. You know, we both do things in the house. So my man is very kind and protective, also a provider. So love him, but we both split things in the house. We both work. We both do everything that we need to do. So I think that's what you need in a man.
Yeah, so that kind of stereotypical provider protector type is something we think about from like tribal times, but it's very much still true today,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, I would say that, but also women can be providers too. So both people working and both people doing the household tasks, the chores. I just think everything being, 50-50, but also marriage is like 100-100 where you both have to be, putting in the work at the same time.
Yeah, it's something I've been saying throughout this series is it's a symbiotic relationship, right? Yeah. So we come together to, 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. It's 3 or 4 or whatever. Yep. So yeah, I really like that.
Yep, I love her man, and I think she loves mine too. So
I think we do. What do we?
They're good guys.
They're out there, right? They're out there.
Absolutely, there's good men out there for sure.
I would say something I appreciate is when you're out in public and a man approaches a woman. I feel like that's a lost art. I feel like it's kind of been reversed roles, but I think that's admirable. Yes.
And that's not the first time I've heard that doing this interview specifically. I've definitely seen women are, a little bit unhappy that it seems to be a lost art, like you said. Yeah, but it's nice when it happens, right?
It's hard to meet people, so I think that helps a little bit.
Yeah. Does it still happen, though?
From time to time, yeah.
Okay, so did you guys hear that loud and clear? Start approaching women more often. Is it true that the worst thing they can say is no?
Yeah. You'll still go to bed and sleep okay.
It's not going to kill you, at least.
I feel like the men in my life are very good at showing their love and affection through action, and that's always appreciated. Like they're good at bringing food over to me if I'm having a bad day, or helping me move across states, or things like that. I feel like men are very good at just acting and doing when they care about you.
So we're maybe not always known for being the best at expressing verbally how we feel, but we do it through action more often. Yeah, I think that's a good point. Okay, what else we got?
I feel like the guys in my life are always able to make me laugh, whether it be something related to what we're talking about or just completely unrelated. But I feel like sometimes I'm a little too serious with how things are going, and they just find something to make my day better.
Okay, yeah, I like that as well. So maybe that's a different way of expressing how we feel about it. The ones that we like in our life is through humor. Humor and action kind of go together there. Yeah, I like those answers.
I just like how men sometimes are more constant, instead of being reactive, more like the thinker kind of thing. Because sometimes I can maybe even overthink things, whereas that kind of constant undercurrent of maybe it's thinking, but it's thinking on a different way to not have an immediate reaction, but more process things, the slow processing. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, we think in different ways, and it can be pros and cons. I think a lot of times, women might give us a hard time for not being emotional enough. But as you pointed out, sometimes it comes in handy. It sometimes might allow us to think a little bit more logically without the emotional side, which is important, obviously, but it's advantageous to have both, I think.
Yeah. And I think men are emotional beings, just like women are. We're all human beings. We just kind of process it in a different way, for sure. Which can be good, right?
Yeah. And I know we got your husband here off camera that we just talked to, so take it away.
So I think he's also very patient with me because I can be a little bit more wild than him. He's more the the shy one, I guess. But also he makes sure that we have everything we need as a provider. Like you said, he's going back to school to find a better job as well, and provide for the family. So he's very good at that. Like, yeah.
So it's like sometimes men seem to make sacrifices for the benefit of those around them, their loved ones.
Yes, I think he's not just waiting around. He's actually doing something to change, the situation for the family.
I would say that I really appreciate when men can be emotionally available and vulnerable with women and create that safe place for them to, to express themselves and express their desires and their thoughts and their emotions. And then there's just no judgment there, just a really safe place. That feels very masculine to me, that, a woman can just lean into the man and he can just be there and be a strong person to receive and respond.
Yeah, I love that. I think it's something that we don't always get a lot of credit for, being, kind of emotionally available, but I think all of us are capable of that. And I think, if we're maybe sort of praised more often for having that ability and for having that attribute, then maybe more men would be incentivized to act in that way, right?
Yeah. I agree with that. I agree. I think that there can be some mutual communication there to say this is what I need, and then I recognize that, and it's reciprocity.
Just talking about Isaac specifically, I do enjoy how he can do all the things that I can't, and we fit together. Where I lack, he's better at, and what he's not good at, I'm pretty good at. So I like that he cooks, sometimes cleans, takes out the trash. Sometimes cleans. He'll clean today, though. But yeah, I don't think I look at people as groups, more like individuals. So talking about my individual, that's what I like.
So you guys kind of complete each other. There's been a common theme with me asking these questions. It's a symbiotic relationship, right? Yes. We make each other stronger.
He's my missing puzzle piece.
Well, I'm glad you guys found each other, and congrats on the engagement.
Thank you.
Well, being raised by a great dad, and I had great grandfathers that were amazing men. I admire their strength, their protection, their hard work, the way they care for, my father cared for me, the way my grandfathers cared for my grandmothers. I have a brother who's amazing too, so strength, security, protection. I admire all those things, and hard work.
That's awesome, yeah. So it sounds like you've had a lot of positive male role models in your life. Absolutely. And unfortunately not everyone gets that, and sometimes that can make us feel negatively maybe toward men, but you've had a positive experience, and that's awesome.
Absolutely. I have to give a shout out to my first husband, my kid's father. He's amazing too. Amazing man, amazing dad. He's a good husband too.
I am constantly just walking, just praying for our men, young and old alike. They go through a lot, and they take a lot because they're trying to win in a world sometimes that don't care about them. And I just pray for our men to just find somebody that loves you back.
They're out there, right?
They are. And I'm good being single. Listen, I'm not looking for no guy. I've had my share. I'm enjoying my life. But if a guy say hi, guess who's saying hi back is me. But yeah,
that's a good point too. We're terrified of approaching women, but to your point, women want to be approached, right? Say hi, go do it. The worst she can say is no, right?
Absolutely. But where I'm at in my life, at almost 62, I want a man to say hi to me and invite me out for coffee. I do. And when you are single, call a sister. Yeah.
I love that. And I think the main thing I took away from that is I can't believe you're 62. You look 42. But I love everything you said. I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
For sure. Thank you so much.